What's up, guys? Welcome back. So in this video, I just wanted to talk about issue 193 of the Walking Dead comics and how the TV show can translate this and how they can give the show a really good ending. Because honestly, the comics, this was just the perfect ending for the comics. It was a great ending for Rick, his legacy, and Carl Grimes letting his legacy live on. So in the comics, Carl actually never dies. Carl survives and he lives on. He's still like an older teenager when his father gets shot by Sebastian. So shortly after Rick dies, they do like a 30-year time jump, and Carl's much older. He's in his late 30s. He's married to Sophia. They have a child, which is named Andrea, after Rick's wife in the comics, and it's really cool. It's a different vibe. It's like the world is safer now. Everyone's living with the Commonwealth. Walkers aren't a threat anymore. And then it ends with Carl reading the story of the trials, which was the issues 1 to 192, just the story of Rick Grimes. They call it the trials, and everyone that sacrificed, everyone that got through it to make the world what it is today, he's reading that story to his daughter Andrea. And it's really cool, honestly. I couldn't think of any other way for the book to end because Rick Grimes is the main character. He is the main protagonist and hero that we've been following this whole time. So now in the show, obviously it's the same way. Rick is the main protagonist, but obviously it's going to have to be a lot different because he is gone now. He left in season 9 on the helicopter to the CRM, and I mean, who knows what they're going to do with that story. But I think one way that they could adapt this issue to the ending of the show is with Judith, because she is the new Grimes character of the show. Like she's blood related to Grimes. She's Shane and Lori's daughter, but she's still a Grimes because she was from Lori and Rick raised her. So I think that's really the only option that they have here. If they want to have someone grow older and keep the legacy living, it's through Judith. She has the hat, she has Rick's gun, she's basic. She's obviously the right choice for this. And who knows? They could have, I don't know. I don't know who Judith would be married to or just with in the future. But I think it'd be cool if we just have not necessarily old woman Judith, but just an older Judith with a son, and she could name her son Rick or Carl. I think either one would work. Honestly, I think Carl would work a little bit better because Rick is going to be the one who's like the famous Rick Grimes, and Carl is just the one that she's honoring because he was his brother and he did a lot. He stopped the war. So I think that's how they could adapt the Andrea child. It could end with Judith reading the story of the trials and Rick Grimes and Carl Grimes to her son Carl. And obviously, just like the comics, Maggie's son Herschel is going to be older. Who knows what they can do with Maggie? I don't know if she's going to be part of the Commonwealth or the CRM. We'll find out. We'll find that out when she comes back in season 10 and 11. So the show is planning to go on for many years, and the they only have so much comic material left. They just have the Commonwealth arc, which isn't really that long, and the Commonwealth arc is like gonna lead up to this ending. So what I think they should do, and what they most likely will do, is they will eventually do this time jump and give the show this good, satisfying ending. But before that, I think they should explore that time in between um, the end of the Commonwealth arc and the farmhouse issue 193. They should hire Robert Kirkman, have him come along and write some of the story, and just continue from that point. Whether they kill someone or not, like whether they kill Daryl or Ezekiel or someone, whether they do that death, they should just continue the story afterwards. Maybe even make some original material, make a new villain. Yeah, I mean, they've surely made some really good original material, so I think it could be really interesting. But I do hope that eventually we get a satisfying ending. I hope that Rick gets his comic death. not necessarily getting shot by Sebastian, but just him dying to preserve the new world. I think that's the meaning of his death, is that he worked so hard, he did everything to save people, and he created this new world. So yeah, whatever they do with the CRM, I think it should end with Rick reuniting with his family, but you know, after that he should die. Get whether he gets killed or if he gets shot or if he gets killed saving people. I think I think Rick Grimes just I don't see him surviving the story. I think someone like Daryl would get that last man standing arc, but I think Rick just has to die for the story. I think it just makes the most sense for his character. But yeah, it is really it's really cool to think about um, all these different comic scenes that they could adapt to the show. If they do want to adapt uh, a death like Rick's death at the end of the Commonwealth arc, before they go on in between the time jump, I think the perfect character for them to kill would be Ezekiel, because he's like that leader character. Rick in the comics was all about giving speeches and just being that prominent leader figure, and they've kind of so far since Rick has been gone, they've given Daryl a lot of his story, but Daryl isn't a person that's going to give speeches. He's not necessarily much of a leader. He's more like a single dad to Judith. He's always going to be Daryl. He's always going to be a lone wolf. So, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool if he kind of took after Rick and started, giving speeches and becoming a leader, but that's just not in his character. I think they need, as much as he's evolved, I think he'll always be Daryl. But Ezekiel, if he doesn't get Andrea's comic death, if he lives on, I think he'd be the perfect one to kill, because you know, he led the kingdom. He's a natural leader. He loves his speeches. I think he'd be a perfect fit for this death, because when Rick died, he was getting in. He wasn't agreeing with Pamela. He wasn't agreeing with the Commonwealth, and they both disagreed on how to handle things and how to lead Alexandria. I think Ezekiel would be perfect for that because he is a leader, and I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. I think he should get a good death like that, and if they plan to go on past that, I think he'd be a good character to kill. I mean, he's a pretty big character, I'd say. He was a prominent figure in All Out War. You know, I think if they plan to go on, they can't kill someone like Daryl. They need to kill someone like Ezekiel, who is gonna be it's gonna be hard to lose him. So like he's big enough to get this death, but he's also small enough that we can keep going without him. But yeah, who knows how much they could write past this, but I think they could at least get like 3 or 4 seasons if they write good original content, and then they can maybe just do a 10-year time jump or even 30 years after that and have an older Judith and just adapt issue 193 to the show with an older Judith, and Rick's dead after he's reunited and freed the world basically. Yeah, I don't know. I just hope The Walking Dead gets a satisfying ending, and I hope Rick's character, most importantly, gets a satisfying ending, because it just feels empty without him. He's the heart of The Walking Dead, and yeah, I think these movies are gonna be good and they're gonna be entertaining. It's just gonna be cool to see Rick Grimes back, and I hope it's very cinematic. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's just there's a way that they can do it well, going past Rick's comic death, but still adapting this time jump. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.